Is this considered a an expansion, or I think this could be called a standalone game?
It's not. I mean, yeah, it's definitely not an expansion. I would look at this like, I mean, it's its own game, just using the Far Cry 3 engine.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
what I
it's a standalone story. I mean, it kind of just takes the framework of Far Cry and then just it creates an entirely new
It's
experience for
Portal
it.
to Half-Life.
right.
Yeah, exactly. You played it as well, right?
Yeah, I played it. So this game is crazy. There's just tons of '80s movie tropes in it.
Oh yeah.
It's I was feeling a lot of Terminator, Aliens. They got Michael Biehn. He voices the lead character Rex, and it's just crazy over the top '80s movie style everything in this game.
The game's crazy.
They
But
it plays a lot. I mean, at its core, it definitely is Far Cry, though. I mean, you use your vehicles to get from place to place. It's standard Far Cry FPS gameplay. Let's see. Oh yeah, the visuals. They've put neon on everything, so the colors are just completely changed to be this like '80s techno style art that they've got on there.
did you like that? I found it to be like it was a little distracting to me. Like while I was playing it, it was cool at first, but then everything is so dark in the game. I found myself like missing enemies or kind of like the environments were a little bland in that they were so dark all the time.
Yeah.
So like I was kind of it was a little it looked cool, but it was a little distracting too.
Godzilla.
It was a bit dark, and yeah, it's kind of weird because everything's glowing and stuff, and there's just a lot of weird stuff going on. But I didn't think that detracted too much.
No, I mean that was really my only in terms of like gripes with the game. I wish that they did have a little bit more variety in terms of like the color palette for the game. I mean everything was really meant to be this like weird like kind of like Blade Runner Tron like strange like neon lit thing. It is cool though. Like
see it here.
yeah, I mean when you're facing the cyborg soldiers, it is cool to like blow their head off or whatever, and then it just like starts cascading like all this like neon blue blood like everywhere around you. Like it does look cool, but I wish that there was a little bit more variety.
Yeah. So as you can see there's the
blood dragon.
titular blood dragons. Yep.
And it does fire laser beams out of its eyeballs, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I wasn't quite sure what to make of the game at first, but then like when that first of all, like it starts off with that whole like apocalyptic like war story, and it's playing music that sounds just like Terminator, and they're talking about a nuclear war, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then it goes into that helicopter sequence, and the helicopter sequence is like an homage to Predator. It plays that song from the beginning of the movie Predator, like when they're flying in the helicopters in Predator. So it's like I was like, all right, I'm like this game's gonna be pretty. And then you have RoboCop's gun to start off with too, and the shotgun from Terminator 2, and you have a like a laser gun from like the Cobra soldiers from GI Joe.
Oh my god.
Yeah. And then it does that.
What bothered me about that though, because they start you with all the weapons and then you lose everything, and then you get the base versions of all the guns and they just fire regular bullets. I was so pumped that the machine gun was like, it sounded like a laser gun from like Transformers. It was just like, I was like, this is awesome. But then when you get it back again and you have to like level up the weapon, it was just a machine gun. And I felt like I was firing a machine gun. I was like, I want more lasers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess they had to figure out some way to get like a leveling up system implemented, and that was what they chose to do.
I think
I can see that there if that is the intention. I hadn't thought of that, but yeah, that's he's using the pistol here, and that's that's possible. That's
You didn't notice that?
That's RoboCop's
It has a
gun.
3-round burst on it. Come on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even as the sound effect, it's like the brr, brr, brr,
yeah, that's.
All right, yeah, that's obviously what it is then.
I will say about the leveling system on the game, I know Far Cry, and it worked for Far Cry 3. I wish this game, where they did it as like a standalone, I almost kind of wish they didn't bother with leveling and made it more of a straightforward like FPS instead of like just doing the open world thing again for this, because I think it would have been more fitting just to make it more linear. Because as an open world and exploring, I just want to like move forward and just like mow down guys like in an '80s action movie, because that's what they were going for. But you get the big open world and little side quests here and there, and for this game, I think they should have just given you the weapons they start you with at like the tutorial, like with like all upgraded, and just made like a straightforward like FPS for this one.
Blow everybody away.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I didn't waste any time. I mean, I may have went to the customization menu once and I like didn't have enough credits or something, and it's like as soon like you get the Terra 4000, which is the minigun, like at it like pretty early on in this thing, and once I got that, I didn't use anything else. I'd use that and like maybe the sniper rifle if I ran out of ammo for it, but. The Terra 4000, you just mow it, like you just blow everybody away. If they can't get close to you, like that's it.
Yeah. I mean, most of the weapons, it seemed like were just for like a lot of the weapons weren't like as functional, and they were more for like an homage factor than anything else. They were like, all right, well, this is the gun from Terminator, this is the gun from RoboCop, this is a Cobra gun. Like it was just like stuff that they could throw in that'd be cool,
Sure.
Did you guys like all that
you,
stuff though, or is it just kind of like,
huh?
oh, okay?
So there it is there.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely the best gun. What'd you guys think about the soundtrack? I actually downloaded it. Power Glove did a super awesome job with it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Didn't those guys, is that Power Glove? Didn't we see them a while back? Because they're from Boston, I believe.
Yeah, wait, I didn't even know Power Glove did the soundtrack.
No, they did. I was gonna.
Yeah,
I was gonna
Power
bring
Glove
that
did
up.
the soundtrack to the game.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So the stuff there's a couple licensed tracks in there, and there's because you can see during the credits it'll tell you. But yeah, the original stuff is done by Power Glove.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
even realize.
and
I mean, it
Jeff-
sounds good. Like it fits. And
Yeah, it's awesome. I actually downloaded it. Jeff, did you ever see that movie Chinese Connection?
like way back in the day.
Okay, yeah. Well, like they or no, Miami Connection, I should say, not Chinese Connection, Miami Connection. It's on Netflix now, but it's a cheesy '80s movie. But they took the main theme from that, and that's the end credits theme to this game. It's like the Friends Forever song. It's pretty funny. Like if you watch the scene, go on YouTube,
yeah.
go on YouTube and just look for Miami Connection. It's just it's like drug dealers versus ninjas.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, I'll watch that.
It's pretty awesome. Yeah, but yeah. What about the tutorial? What do you guys think about the tutorial to this game? It was I thought that was pretty hilarious.
Oh yeah, at the end he's just like, oh, come on already.
Yeah, it's a great another
Your
tutorial.
HUD AI keeps interrupting and telling you a lot of useless stuff, and he's just he just gets really frustrated and he starts swearing and telling it to shut up, but the windows just keep popping up.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was good.
But yeah, no real complaint. I mean, the soundtrack was awesome. I mean, I didn't really get into any of their Far Cry, so I can't really like comment on like how it plays differently than a Far Cry. I know that you're more of a Far Cry like guy. Like I never really got into it, but I mean, it played like it was supposed to play. I mean, there was a heavy emphasis on stealth. But yeah, no, the game was. My only complaint was that the visuals were a little lacking. I think at certain points.
Yeah, well, it plays just like Far Cry 3. And Far Cry 3 has a big emphasis on stealth. And again, that's one thing I wish, I wish it didn't have the emphasis on stealth on this, because I feel like if you think about like what it was going for, like 80s action movies, like none of those guys are stealthy. I mean, like Predator, Commando, Terminator, like
Time Cop.
Did you guys
what it
find
looks
that
like.
that's
The cover
the
looks like
approach
I've
you
seen
use
this
to
movie.
handle most situations? You just stealth everything? Because I was kind of the opposite. I mean, I would just run in there, and especially when I was going through to all the garrisons and trying to take them all over and convert them all. I would just run in there and just start just lighting dudes up. I never tried to if I caught someone off guard, I'd stealth them, but
Yeah, I mean, I guess it could be played either way. It seemed to me like they tried to like make it so that stealth was definitely an option for you.
Sure.
they make it, I feel like they try to make it more rewarding, and that's just something that like comes off of Far Cry 3, and I feel like it works for that game, but for Blood Dragon, not
so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one final thing I wanted to point out is that, I mean, this game overall, it's crazy. Everything is just over the top. My favorite part of this game is towards the end, when I mean, there's this one part that it's a little bit scripted, but it plays Vince DiCola's War from Rocky IV, which is the final fight montage scene, and it just plays the whole thing in its entirety as you kind of go through the sequence. And to me, that's one of the craziest things I've seen in a game in a while. I mean, if you've seen Rocky IV, you're gonna play this and you're gonna understand completely like what they're doing there, and it's just insane. I was sitting there just like laughing my ass off at how ridiculous the whole thing was. So if you haven't made it to that part yet, be on the lookout for that. It definitely it's completely nuts. So
yeah.
All right, overall then, what we gonna recommend this one or what?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
It's pretty fun.
It's definitely fun.
As a standalone DLC kind of $15 type of thing, You know, definitely worth your money. You think?
Oh yeah, for $15 for this game, because you don't need the original Far Cry 3, which
That's true. Yeah.
I think everyone should grab it if they can, anyways, because it's worth playing. But for $15 for this standalone game, what's it like six-ish hours long?
Sure, I think if you just bounce from objective to objective doing the story, you're good for 6 hours. But there's a ton of other stuff that you can do. There's hunts, there's hostage rescue missions, there's other things that can maybe actually double the total time if you want to stick around and do the extra stuff. All right, well there you go. That's going to wrap it up for our review.